and sprinkle, and we are going to be having some fun with watercolor with this month's video kit club. We are going to be using the Flower Silhouette Stamp Set by Bugaboo. I absolutely love it. It's so adorable, such a really fun, whimsical floral design, and we are going to be creating this fun, cool, exciting, awesome, amazing, wonderful watercolor card. And I am going to be using the Aqua watercolor pens by Nuvo. These are so fun. The colors are so vibrant and bright, and they come in these really cool sets. So you're going to be receiving this set as well as the red berry crystal drops, which are just beautiful and coordinate so well with that watercolor. So thank you so much for watching and enjoy. Here are the Aqua pens, which are super awesome. And in this month's video kit club, you are going to be receiving this wonderful set, and this is summer holiday, of the Aqua pens. And we have a very awesome special for our video kit club members only. And you could purchase all 3 of these sets at a discounted price. And there are Winter Skies, beautiful, Autumn Woodland, and Spring Meadow. Now, when you first receive your Aqua pens, they are not activated. So what you're going to do is take them out of the package, and when they first come, they all have these yellow separators. So you see those really bright yellow separators? So what you're going to do is screw that off. You're going to pull that little yellow ring, toss that, pop that back on, and that is going to blend the water with the ink. And once you do this, you don't have to do this again. You only do this the first time. Once you have them activated, this is how your pen remains the rest of the time. So now I have just a regular dry brush, and to get that color flowing, I am going to press where it says press on my pen. And this is the really cool black. It's hard to get a good black watercolor, and this one is really, it's amazing actually. It is really cool. It's not gray at all, it's black watercolor. So here are the 3 colors in that watercolor set, which are just gorgeous. And that is the Winter Skies. Okay, so I'm going to show you a couple tips today on how to make our really beautiful Aqua silhouette card. So what I've taken here is just packaging paper. So the things that your rubber stamps come in every time you receive them. And you're going to get in the kit, you're going to get an extra one of these. So we are going to be using that as our mat here to make our beautiful watercolor paper. So I've already activated these 3 that come in this month's set. And I'm going to open up my beautiful Aqua Splash and give it a little squeeze. And what I've done here is this is the same size paper, a 4.5 by 3 inch, and that is the same size that is going to be my background. So I know exactly where I need to go ahead and put my watercolor. So you're just gonna give a good scribble, and I'm just rubbing this on here where my paper is, and then I'm gonna do the same with the red. And I'm trying to make sure I don't touch my red with my blue, because then it makes more of a browny color. And then I'm just going to add a little yellow here and there. Nothing too much. I like just a little highlight of the lemon zest. And now I'm going to set those aside. And I'm going to take my Light Mist spray bottle by Nuvo, and I'm going to give it a good spray. And then I'm going to take my cardstock, once again, that is a 3 by 4.5, and I'm going to push that down, and I'm going to apply a good amount of pressure. So I'm not just like setting it on it lightly, I am squeezing all around the edges, and that extra watercolor is squirting out on all of the sides. So you want that. So you get a nice background. Oh, it's so cool. I love the combination even here, that purpley color. And then what I'm gonna do for the edges is I'm going to go and pick up all those colors blended together, and that's going to give a really good finished look. So I am just picking all of that up, and look at how cool that turned out. I hope you guys love it. Excuse me, I'm so excited. I just love watercolor. So that looks really fun. We are going to set that aside and let that dry for a minute, and I'm going to show you a really easy way to clean up. I just squirt it again. Take a little piece of paper towel and clean that up. And that is now your surface to make another one. So now we are going to do our borders. And really, really easy. And you can have fun with this. You can do all sorts of different things. So how I did these two different looks was one was with water and without water. So this one, I scribbled the watercolor on my page here. And then this one, I scribbled the watercolor and then I squirted it with the light mister. So I'm going to go ahead and make my blue strip now, and I'm going to grab myself a little piece of paper, and I've got that ready to go. So what I'm going to do is just go back and forth, and then I'm going to give it a light mist. Take my border piece of cardstock, press that down, pop that up, and then you've got a really cool background. Now, if you want to add edging, you can go ahead and do this. These are going to be my borders on my card. And now that is all set. They're all going to look different. That's the best part about this. All of your cards are going to have a unique look to them. And that is the joy of watercoloring. So I'm going to now show you how I did the background for my hello here, which is this little guy here. And that is the straight watercolor on your cardstock. It is so beautiful. It's so vibrant that it looks really beautiful just straight on the paper as well. So I'm just going to do a back and forth, and I'm really saturating my cardstock. And then you're going to let that dry. And then I took my hello stamp and I stamped it with my StazOn, so it's nice and permanent and doesn't bleed. Just cool that off a little bit. Let me cool it off. I love how I always say it needs to be cooled off because it's water. I meant dry it. Okay, so I'm going to take my hello stamp and stamp that on. Just like that. So cool. Let that dry. Then I went ahead and trimmed the edges. So here that one is. And then to give it a nice border, I'm going to go ahead and take the Aqua Flow, the beautiful Aqua Splash, and I'm just going to go over the edges of it. And it's nice because those two colors blend together, and that's going to coordinate with the background on your flower silhouette stamp that we did in the beginning. So finish up all my edges, and it has a really cool look to it. Yay! Okay, we'll set that aside. You can also use the other Sending You a Smile, which is really pretty, really fun. You can even do like a circle die cut with that, or even the Find Joy in the Ordinary saying, which would be really pretty with that as well. Okay, we are now going to do a little stamping. So this should be pretty dry. You can take your heat tool to speed up the dry time. I'm going to add a little heat to it. I find it tends to curl even more when you heat it, so you can just work that paper and bend it a little bit. I really love this one, so I wanted to use it. I actually made extra ones to stamp onto, but this one turned out really neat that I wanted to use this one right now for the video. So I'm going to now take my silhouette flower and I'm going to use my StazOn. If you have a StazOn ink pad and you haven't used it for a while, we also have the re-inkers, which are a lifesaver because StazOn is a permanent ink. For instance, I just was going to film my video and left my ink pad open the entire time I was gone. I know that would never happen to you guys, but if it does, I just came home and re-inked it, and now it is super inky. So we'll just have to look the other way if this turns out really blotchy, because I'm going to just keep going for it. All right, I am going to line that up and stamp that down. I'm going to stand up and just give it a little extra pressure. Sorry, I hit the camera. This is like 4D. Okay, push that down. Hopefully we got a nice impression there. Oh, it's beautiful. Love it. Set my stamp aside. And now I'm going to go ahead and just add a little extra heat to it. I'm just going to speed up the dry time on my StazOn. All right, once that is nice and dry, I am going to take my watercolor markers again. So like you see here in the original piece, like this is really red, really yellow, and then the leaves are all colored in. I went ahead and took the watercolor brushes. That is the awesome thing about these, is you can just straight color with them as well. So I'm going to go and make sure that my leaves are nice and green. Make sure all of them are colored in. If you get all the sets, you can of course play with all 4 of the sets together in combination, which are going to be really pretty together. Once all my leaves are filled in, I am just going to go and highlight the flowers and the butterfly with the yellow and the red. So I really like the flowers to be red. I played around with a lot of different variations of this before I did the video. So it was really fun with nice bright red flowers. And you can always dilute this too, or you can mix your colors. So if you decided you want to do an orange, you can mix your red and your yellow together. So I am just doing a really quick splash of color. Because it's watercolor, you have a lot of options and you can really play, and it doesn't have to be perfect. So you don't have to worry about staying in the lines on everything. I'm going to add my yellow, and I'm going to add some yellow over this one. I'm going to lighten these ends up a little bit. All right. So now, a very important thing when you have your watercolor and your paper is curling is to make sure you're using an extremely permanent adhesive. So that is when the Tear-ific tape comes into play. So I'm going to make sure all of my edges are taped down, and I'm using the 1-inch, and then I have a little bit left over here, and I'm going to use the 3/4 inch Tear-ific tape. And I am going to trim my edges. And then we're going to do one more technique on our background here. And you can actually do this technique before you add the tape. So before you add your Tear-ific tape, you can do the embossing technique. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my embossing ink, and I'm going to take my clear embossing powder, and I'm going to make my watercolor pop. So what happens with most watercolors is once that water dries, you lose some of that pop of the color. So I'm going to grab my embossing ink, and I am just going to go over where my flowers are. Then I'm going to grab my coffee filter and my clear embossing powder. And this is going to really make that color go back to its true brightness. So heat set that. And wow, look at that color pop now. It is nice and bright. You've got that beautiful, I mean, you could see the before and after with the shine with the actual watercolor. And here I took my time. I did a little bit more detail on all of the flowers, which obviously you can do that too. Here I have some big red blobs, but they're beautiful. They're beautiful big red blobs. All right, so I'm going to now assemble my gorgeous little card. So I'm going to take, now the Tear-ific tape is heat resistant, so that's why I was able to go back and still emboss on top of my cardstock, because your Tear-ific tape is heat resistant. So I'm going to take my backing off here, and you're going to get, you also do get the clear in your Video Kit Club kit as well. So I'm going to stick that down. All right, so for the background of our card, we have these 2 strips of the watercolor. So like I said, you have a lot of different options with here. That is the fun with using watercolors on all of your cards and paper crafts, is the possibilities are endless. And what you did on one card could be, you know, you did the same technique and it could be totally different on the next card. So I'm going to take my card base here, and I'm going to set my red border here, and I'm using my Tear-ific tape, the 3/4 inch, and my paper is still a little wet, so that's why it's pulling up. Come on, guy. Here we go. Okay, peel my backing up. Dun, dun, dun. Stick that up there as straight as you can. And now I've got my 2 little borders. And now I'm going to go ahead and stick my beautiful floral silhouette stamped watercolor background. And I'm going to go right there. So I have enough room up here for my hello. And I'm going to pop that. And then you are also receiving the beautiful red berry. And you can do just about whatever you'd like with this. So I can do 1, 2, 3, followed by a 1, 2, 3. I can go ahead and go inside of my flowers, really get crazy and do all the borders like I did here. So you have so many different options. Really fun, very great project. My son had fun playing with this too. Our designers, I've got 2 samples in from our wonderful designers. Here's this one, which is really cool because it's done with our silver embossing powder, and the butterflies are fussy cut and popped out. The butterflies in this set are so cute. They're adorable. So here is that beautiful card, and this was done by Irit, which is gorgeous. And then we have this one, which is by Chris Etter, which is really fun. Lots of different colors, and using the embellishment mousse in the background. And all of these were popped up by the crystal drops. So if you want to see more card inspiration by our designers, don't forget to check out our blog. Thank you guys so much. If you're not a Video Kit Club member, check out why it's important to become a Kit Club-er and take advantage of that special of all of these sets. If you buy them all as a Kit Clubber with your kit, you get to take advantage of that special. Thank you guys so much for watching. Comment below and don't forget subscribe.